Okay, so one of the problems we're going to see with all this footage is it's going to be slightly out of sync, and I'm talking just ever so slightly. We're talking to the point where if people watching this as it's live stream, they'll put it down to their internet connection. But to me, looking at this, every time I see the drummer, I see, oh my God, it's slightly out. So I've got a section here, and I've actually taken the first band of day one, because I think it's going to be the same sync problem for every single band. I'm going to test that now, because I'm going to find out how much this is. So I'm going to look, I'm basically going through this song here. I'm going to look to see how close the drummer is. And I'm struggling to see if it's forward or backwards at the moment. Right, I think at that point into the chord change, I think the visuals are slightly ahead of the sound. So I think we need to delay the sound slightly. Now I'm going to test this in the only way I really know how, which we're going down here and I'm going to zoom right in on this little section I've got. I've just identified one section just so I can test this. And what I'm going to do, and it really is just that, it's really that drummy stuff there. So this is what we need to do. We need to separate the audio and video, which we do. We select that, we right click on it, boom, and we're going to go through and we're going to go unlink. What you can see then straight away, we have the audio and video separately. Now what I'm going to do, because I think, what was I thinking? I think the video is slightly ahead, so that means the audio is behind. So I think we need to advance the audio. I'm going to try just one frame at a time and see if it makes a difference. So we're going to grab it there and literally I'm just going to move the audio, and you'll see it's now saying on there 00, so I can just go bump. Let's see if we can get it ever so slightly. That's 19 frames, that's far too far. So right, it's actually, I'm too zoomed in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the beginning of there. I'm going to put my playhead right in the beginning. I'm going to zoom right in. I'm really, really close here. Literally, that is a frame. So I'm going to advance the audio one frame. You can see there at the bottom it said advanced one frame. As I picked it up, it said, and it's telling you how far it's going to move it. So if I move it back, it clicks into place, one frame. So I'm literally clicking it, dragging it, moving it one frame, and it'll lock into there. So now I'm going to play it, and I'm going to keep an eye out. I'm going to see if that syncs looks any better. Actually, that looks worse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right back to the beginning, and I'm going to move it one frame the other way just to see if I was wrong. So I've actually taken it back 2 frames, so that means it's back to the original and then minus 1 frame. I'm going to see if that looks any better. It's maybe close. I'm going to try another frame and see, and literally I'm going to go back until it looks like it's about to fall out of sync again. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to go 1 frame again. No, it's 3 frames. I'm going to, so it means I need to really zoom in there. So I'm going to go 1 frame there. I'm going to press play there. It's still not quite feeling right. That's really weird. I'm going to put it back to where we had it, that 1 frame, and see if that does it, to be honest. Because that is looking a bit weird. Okay. Because if I zoom right in there, actually no, let's do it. I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to go back another frame and let's see if we can see if it make it really bad. Actually, you know what? That is getting close. So I'm going to see. I'm actually going to go back and see actually if we're heading in the right direction. Is it another frame it needs? Another 1 frame. Let's see. That's starting to look close actually, so I'm going to just check it. And what I tend to do is I tend to move it and try and get it beyond, so it's going back out of sync again, because that way I know we've gone past the point. So that's 1 frame there. So again, actually, that's feeling okay. So we haven't gone past it this way. Rather than giving up at one particular point, I can keep going till we get an absolute lock. So I'm going to try one more frame on that just to see what happens. Just see. Again, that's feeling okay. And bear in mind, I'm just doing this one frame at a time, so you might not see. It's a very subtle difference each time. So I'm going to see what, I mean, just to show you what happens, I'm going to actually move it 3 frames. So I know I've moved it far too far this time. So let's see what happens now. Yeah, that looked out to me. So you've got 2 things you can look at. You can look at the lip movement and you can look at the drums. Yeah, I can tell that's definitely, I can tell that that's out now. So if you look again, we've got a snare hit there. You can see that snare hit there needs to be, yeah, so you can see, actually, you can just make out on the audio there, that's where visually we're hitting the snare, and that is where the snare sound is. So you can see that I've moved far too far back. In fact, actually, even if we're this far here, I wonder if I can just do that. No, it didn't tell me. 1 frame. Oh, no, that's too much. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to move it 1 frame that way. That's 2 frames. 1 frame. Yeah, I think I need to do it back pretty much where I had before, what I was saying. So I'm going to do 1 more frame, test it, and then I think that'll be it, and I'll be able to figure out exactly how far it is. Let's do it that way. So that's 1 frame there. I'm just going to play it through. Right, those drums look okay. I'm making sure the lips are working now. Yeah, the way he rolls the R's, that looks in to me. So I think that's where it was. That's pretty much back to where it was before. So if we go to the beginning, we can see how many frames sync we actually need to adjust it on there. So I'm going right to the beginning, going to go in, and literally all I need to do is I just need to shift it that way and sync it back up. 7 frames out we've done. So if you do between 5 and 7, if I stick it on 6, I'm just going to check that. So that's 6 frames I've moved it to. So I think we've got a bit of a kind of a window of between 5 and 7 frames we need to... Because remember, each time we move that, it's 25th of a second we are moving it. Okay? 1/25th of a second difference. Look at the rolling of the R's now. Right, I'm happy with that. So we've got that at 6 frames. So when it comes down to it, you're getting the audio and you're moving it 6 frames to the left. So that means you're making sure that, so what's happening at the moment, we've got the video's been happening before the audio. Okay, so it's exactly the opposite of what I thought earlier. Your eyes can always trick you, but you want it to look right. So I've got that 6 frames as a general thing. So what I'm now going to do, I'm going to go back into these things. I'm going to do this one first. So I'm going to zoom right out. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to move it that way a tad. I'm going to go in. I'm going to unlink it so I can actually get into the audio. I'm going to put my playhead right at the beginning of the performance. I'm going to zoom right in because that way I can definitely be moving the frames. I'm going to go 1 and I'm going to move it up till it says 6. There we go. So I've just moved it back 6 frames. And what I'm also going to do, I'm going to now top and tail it. So I'm going to actually cut that back to there. I'm going to go to the end of the file as well. I'm going to tidy that up. So the audio now lasts exactly the same as the visual. And the final thing I'm going to do is select both of them. And I'm going to go link. So now I'm putting them back together. You can see that it says -6 + 6 on there. So it's showing us how we've altered the sounds. And if I play through that, actually I'm going to check it on the audio of the interview, because that to me is the big one that we need to check, because that's the one place we're going to really see it. Because the rest of the time she's hidden with that microphone. So again, I select both. I go unlink. I zoom right in. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to move the video forward 6 this time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because that's the relationship we've got. And so I'm going to pull the audio. See what I'm doing when I pull the audio, I'm making sure I'm actually editing it. So you can see we've got the little red symbol that means we're actually, yeah, we've got the red handle. So we're moving that bit at the end. I'm going to go right to the beginning. I'm going to pull this bit in. It's only 6 frames, so we won't hear any difference on that. I'm going to relink that. Right click and link it. Now I'm going to pull the edit back together. I'm going to select the grey space we've got there and then hit delete. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to hit the grey space we've got there and delete. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play it and check that that's okay.
7 days. That's okay. And is Tracy Chapman a favourite in the
So there we can see straight away.
Oh, no.
This
Why?
damn song is cursed. Gotta get
Why?
out of the way.
But why?
This is a breakup song.
Oh, okay.
2 breakups in the song, and it broke the band twice.
So what we can see there is
And,
that lip
how
sync
do
now
you
looks
describe
absolutely
your
spot
music?
on.
Well, usually it would be a bit of rap, but as of today,
I'm just going to check what happens on the crossover now with those 6 frames difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely no change. Absolutely
hello,
fine.
me little land lovers.
So what we have there, we've been able to sync it up using one thing that we've recorded and apply it to another one. So what we're doing, we're making sure we're unlinking the audio. We're going to advance the video 6 or take the audio back by 6 and then relink them. And that means we've got a complete lock-in on the sound.